What up, people? This is the Nature Girl 30 here, and I did have a chance to see SummerSlam tonight. It's just that it's pretty late in the game because unfortunately I wasn't here on Sunday, but a friend of mine actually did record it, so I had a chance to see it. But I'll give a review on that later. Right now, I'm gonna give a review about Raw tonight. Now, the matches themselves were pretty solid and very entertaining. The John Morrison versus R-Truth match was pretty entertaining. And other matches that went on was pretty entertaining, especially the Jack Swagger match versus A Rey. That match wasn't so bad. Um, but the only thing that really did bother me, there were a few things that bothered me. One thing that bothered me was the John Morrison versus R-Truth feud. For some reason, I don't understand why the WWE is trying to continue this because it seems like that they're trying to squash the feud, but they kind of bring it back up all over again. I don't know what they're trying to do. Especially the one thing that kind of bothered me was about SummerSlam because SummerSlam, they should have had that debut match. They should have had that match and that would have squashed the entire thing once and for all. But they decided to continue with it. And it was nice to hear John Morrison have a little bit of, voice time, especially in the little box on the side. But honestly, they need to make up their mind whether or not they want this feud to continue or they want them to go their separate ways and try to do something else with R-Truth and John Morrison's characters. But another thing that kind of bothered me was the fact that, and this is also a part of SummerSlam, that since the U.S. title wasn't put up at SummerSlam, and since the match between Dolph Ziggler and A-Rod was a dark match, why in the world are you continuing this feud? It should have been on the pay-per-view and it should have been squashed that night, but instead they decided to put it on Raw and try to continue with it, which that really doesn't make any sense. We all know that there is this harmony between Vicky and Dolph, and that's a given that Vicky's gonna probably get dumped sooner or later. But with the whole A-Rod and Ziggler feud is kind of weak because they had an opportunity to actually shine that last night, but they didn't. So I really don't know why they're going forth with it. Another thing that kind of bothered me the whole night was the fact that with the Divas, I was really impressed when I saw Kelly's match on SummerSlam, and she really did improve. And then she kind of gave Beth Phoenix a run for her money. She wasn't a complete competitor, but she was a top contender. But why in the world did Natalya and Beth Phoenix come out with those disgusting, weird looking outfits that looked like they were like flappers rejects from the 20s and had mics in their hands but didn't say anything? Beth Phoenix had a mic in her hand, but she kept staring and clapping at Kelly. Was she going to say something? Was she allowed to? What? I don't know. They needed to make up their minds there. But the one thing that really did bother me for the night was all of the pushes and all of the clips and vignettes that they showed of Rey Mysterio on all his triumphs and him winning the championship, which is, of course, since Rock was in his hometown of San Diego, you would think that he was going to have a one-up in the main event tonight. Why in the world would you do all that, doing like little snippets and vignettes of somebody without doing all their triumphs and everything about them, but in the end, have them lose? It doesn't make any sense. And his hometown, no doubt. This lets me know that, something's going on with Rey. There could be a chance that he may be retiring. I don't know. But it doesn't make any sense for Rey Mysterio to be losing in his hometown and have all of this push and all this promotion about him possibly winning, but then losing. It doesn't make any sense to do that. Yeah, he won a championship, but he won a championship for 10 seconds. I don't know what they're planning on doing with Rey Mysterio, but it doesn't look good for him at all. But one positive thing of the night, possibly many other positives, was the CM Punk, session that he had with Big Daddy Cool. Now, He's gonna always be Big Daddy Cool Diesel to me. I know he's Kevin Nash, but he's gonna always be Big Daddy Cool Diesel to me. But anyway, that whole segment that they had together, that was pretty priceless. Anything with CM Punk in it is pretty priceless, and I think that was a good segment. It was very entertaining, and once again, he kind of broke through the third wall and went beyond where he was supposed to go, and kind of, have people, interested in what they had to say. I mean, what he had to say, and I really did like it. Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash will always be a great wrestler. He will always be a great talker. He did a lot, especially bringing the NWO in his heyday. But honestly, CM Punk kind of pwned him for that whole segment. And I actually liked it. And the one thing that I really am starting to like is that the whole twist that, since he's a COO, aka Coup, with Triple H's new persona of being a corporate guy, and then now he's incorporating in his wife, which is one thing that I did state in one of my videos, that with Triple H actually does take over, you're going to be seeing a little bit more Stephanie. But seeing how Stephanie was involved last night, and seeing how could be a chance that John Cena could be involved, who knows? But the funny thing about it was that they're actually trying to incorporate some controversy in the WWE, especially with Raw, and I actually do like the way it's going, and it's becoming pretty interesting. But the segment that the Miz had with Jared Fogle, the sandwich guy, that was funny. That was entertaining. I like the Miz, and I also like the fact that the Miz ended up having a match last night. I didn't entirely like it to be a 6-man match, but the fact that he had a match last night because of everything that he said, not only on YouTube but his fans, it was pretty cool. And the fact that he came out and kind of made fun of Jared for a little bit, that was pretty entertaining. And yeah, I kind of crossed over to SummerSlam. But anyway, Alberto Del Rio is leads to the main event of the night. And I know I've already said pretty much everything that happened already, but the main event of the night was Alberto Del Rio versus Rey Mysterio. It was a good match, but it disappointed me because they did nothing but promote this guy. They pushed him and pushed him and pushed him, and he still failed. It didn't make any sense to me, the fact that they would push Rey Mysterio to win and to beat Alberto Del Rio, only to have Alberto Del Rio keep his belt. Why? But anyway, if I had to give it a grade for the night, I'm gonna give it a C, because number one, it doesn't make any sense to promote someone and only have them lose. Number two, A-Rod versus Dolph Ziggler. They could have promoted this last night at SummerSlam, but they chose not to. And now you're confused on exactly where the feud is. They could have pressed it on in the storyline last night, but now you're confused on where they stand. And also with number three, the John Morrison versus R-Truth match. They've had so many matches together to where they're supposed to have a feud that's supposed to be squashed at SummerSlam, only for it not to happen. And now they had a match prior to SummerSlam that's supposed to end the feud, and now they had another match again. Don't get me wrong, it was great, but now John Morrison wins. So what's going to happen? They're going to have another match next week, and then is it going to be back and forth? They need to make up their minds. But anyway, that's the reason why I give it C for tonight. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If you like what I'm saying, subscribe to my channel. This is the Nature Girl 30 here. I am exhausted, and I'm signing off. See you when I see you. Peace.